The sanctions on Russia are taking a toll on President Putin's Latin American allies. Nicaragua was depending on Russian banks to finance the expansion of an airport. The expulsion of Russian banks from SWIFT has also impacted Venezuelan President Maduro. Rafael Romo reports on Russia's relations with Latin American countries.
When Russia's Deputy Prime Minister Yuri Borisov visited Venezuela last month, he was given the red carpet treatment and was welcomed at the Miraflores presidential palace by Nicolás Maduro himself.
Son nuestros hermanos.
Maduro referred to Russians as our brothers and described his country's relationship with Russia in glowing terms. Before having his oil minister sign multiple agreements involving topics of mutual interest, including military cooperation, Borisov promised to help in the fight against external meddling. The top Russian official would later make stops in Nicaragua and Cuba, part of a Latin American tour to strengthen relations with allies in the weeks before Russia's invasion of Ukraine. As expected, once the invasion started, Nicolás Maduro sided with Russia.
Miren lo que están haciendo con Rusia.
Look at what they're doing with Russia. It is a crime what they're doing with the Russian people, he said. They kicked them out of SWIFT. They closed airspace. They shut down commercial links, and they prohibited them from having access to the dollar. What they're doing with Russia is madness, Maduro said. But some Venezuelans took to the streets in the first days of the invasion to denounce it, defying Maduro's position and telling the world the Venezuelan leader doesn't speak for them. In the more than 2 decades Vladimir Putin has been in power, his government has strived to forge alliances with several countries in Latin America, showing his political and financial muscle in an apparent effort to tell the international community that Russia is not isolated and that it has partners around the world. At the same time Putin's deputy prime minister was shaking hands in Latin America, the Russian leader was greeting Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro last month in Moscow. And in early February, Argentinian President Alberto Fernandez said Russia should be Latin America's alternative to the United States and the IMF when it comes to finding sources of funding and credit. We have to see in what way Argentina can become the entryway for Russia to enter Latin America, Fernandez said. Brazil's Bolsonaro said the invasion is no massacre and mirrored Russian propaganda by adding that Putin is only protecting 2 regions in Ukraine seeking independence.
No vamos a tomar ninguna represalia.
And even though Mexico voted in favor of condemning the invasion at the UN's General Assembly last week, President Andrés Manuel López Obrador said his government won't impose any sanctions on Russia. We want to maintain good relations with all countries in the world, the leftist leader said.
This as the Russian invasion of Ukraine continues for an 11th day straight. Ukraine now begging for even more help from the West and NATO. Cole Higgins has the latest.
More than 360 civilians killed and many more injured by Russian forces as they try to escape the destruction underway in Ukraine. The UN says the real death toll likely much higher.
What are they trying to achieve? To bring us to our knees?
On Sunday, constant heavy shelling north and west of the capital city, Kyiv. The Russian military bombarding a checkpoint for civilian evacuations, leaving at least 2 children dead, according to Ukrainian authorities.
They are preparing to bomb Odessa. This will be a war crime. This will be a historic crime.
Amid new fears that Russia will soon expand attacks to more major Ukrainian cities, President Volodymyr Zelensky making an urgent appeal to political leaders around the world.
If you don't at least give us airplanes so we can defend ourselves, the only thing we can think is that you also want us to be killed slowly.
U.S. officials confirmed the White House is in talks with Poland on the possibility of backfilling their fighter jets so that Poland can give their Russian-made jets to Ukraine. And now the U.S. is looking at new paths to stop the Russian onslaught.
Today, Russian oil and gas smells Ukrainian blood. So instead of donating money to us, just stop buying it.
We are now talking to our European partners and allies to look in a coordinated way at the prospect of banning the import of Russian oil.
I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
You can continue following the Ukraine crisis on our free KYMA app available in the App Store. And it's been 2 years since the last midnight at the Oasis due to COVID-19. But it's back this year and locals are loving it. Luis Lopez has more.
Midnight at the Oasis made its return this weekend, and after a long hiatus, the Yuma community welcomed the event back with open arms.
We're glad to have it back, and I think Yuma's glad to have it back too.
The event kicked off on Friday around noon when gates first opened. As people entered, over 1,000 classic cars were on display. Throughout the weekend, food, drinks, and live music were also available. Everything is put on by the Caballeros de Yuma. The member in charge of the event is Travis Smith, who is this year's Captain Midnight, which means he's been in charge of organizing the event. To lead the effort this year was a bit more special for Smith, as he was happy to see everything back after last year's cancellation.
I'm tickled that there are so many people that are ready to be back to a normal life and get out here and enjoy the nice weather and the beautiful cars.
Among the car show's entrants are people from all over. Claude Rosico is from Canada. He's been an entrant since 2012's show, as the event is always a highlight of his yearly visits to Yuma.
Yeah, there's a real connection between this car show and the community, for sure.
Rosico always displays his 1967 Pontiac Firebird, and when we asked what the car has cost him, he wasn't exactly able to give a total number.
If I tell you it's broadcast, then my wife will find out. So,
okay.
Let's just say I bought it for $16,500, and I spent a lot more money than that.
With all the excitement the event brought back, there's no doubt people are already counting the days down till next year's. Reporting in Yuma, I'm Luis Lopez.
Convoy groups led by American truckers have been making their way toward the nation's capital to demand an end to all COVID-19 mandates and restrictions. Sam Ford met up with a group that calls themselves the People's Convoy as they rolled into Maryland Saturday.
Trucks over here, way back over there, semis and pickups and flags everywhere. The general message is Trump is good, Biden is bad. It has the atmosphere of a carnival or county fair, and some, like Jimmy Fletcher, have been with it since they left California over a week ago.
The biggest thing about it is it's the mandates, it's the freedom. We need our Constitution restored, and we need our freedom from across the nation.
Here in Red Hagerstown, they're mainly receiving a friendly reception. Some brought them bottled water.
We're welcoming the truckers here to our community. Of course, I'm the delegate right here in Washington County.
Our locals like Gina Draper.
After 2 years, everybody's so depressed and angry.
2 years of what?
Just everybody being cooped up in their houses and wearing masks.
The organizers of this People's Convoy insists it's not about politics, despite the signs.
There's gay and straight, there's left and right, there's vaxxed and unvaxxed.
But about freedom, she says, from government-imposed restrictions that revolve around COVID-19.
The cure was worse than the disease. Suicide rates through the roof, divorce rates through the roof.
Oh, yes. Are they coming to D.C.?
If we change our minds, we'll let you know. But as of right now, no, we're not going.
And when they heard a trucker was organizing a run for D.C. at 3 o'clock...
That is not the People's Convoy. We are not advocating that message. We just sent security out there to stop it.